Okay, hi ghouls, welcome back to my channel. So today we are finally doing a movie review. I have not reviewed a movie, I haven't done a movie review since last October. So we're finally doing a movie review and we are reviewing 2025's Sinners. Cause your girl finally watched it. And I have been wanting to review it, and I think I watched about a week ago, but it's still pretty fresh in my mind, so bear with me. But yeah, I finally watched the movie Sinners, and oh my goodness. I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I I've been seeing a lot of people say how it's overhyped and blah blah blah, social justice, woke, and shit like that. I don't I thought it was amazing. I genuinely thought it was amazing. And I know I really liked the settings, the costume designs. I really love the soundtrack. I know I know that it does take a while for, spoiler alert, it does take a while for it to actually build up to, like, the whole vampirism. But I don't mind it. I thought, the first half of the movie was good. I thought the second half, I thought it was just an overall amazing movie. Now, I will say I did think that the ending could have been better, but it wasn't an awful ending, but it's hot in here. But the ending wasn't, I don't know. I wish it could have been better. I just felt like it was kind of weak. But it just wasn't a bad ending. I really love, like I said, I really love the soundtrack, the cast, the characters. I really loved, like, the special effects and the gore and things like that. Um I wish we got a little more vampire lore. That was one thing that's another thing I did. That's another negative, but that's just me being greedy when it comes to, to me being a vampire fanatic. But yeah, I just wish we got a little more vampire lore, but I still thought it was a good movie nonetheless. I also really love, like, some of the hidden dirty jokes or whatever. Not hidden, but you know what I mean. It's Hold on. Sorry, my mom is vacuuming, but I also um this is just me being immature, but I did like, the dirty jokes in there. When a dirty joke is done right, I think it's funny. That's just me. But yeah, I also really liked a lot of the social commentary. This movie does take place like in the 1930s, so there's a lot of, like, social commentaries with, like, racism, the KKK, and things like that. I know a lot of people roll their eyes at, but I thought it was, really. I did not mind that. I know a lot of people, especially white people, um, kind of scoff at it. I think they're I think that's their ignorance showing. I don't want to get too much into the whole racism and politics, but I loved that little social commentary there. I am always for a good social commentary, and this movie did not disappoint with the social commentary. Um I I love, like, I especially love, like, when we do get to, to the final scene, like, not final scene, but when we get to the conflict with the vampires, it really goes all out with its action packs and its gore and things like that. I I love, now maybe this is just me. I could be totally wrong, but I see a little similarities to it when it comes. I see a little similarities with From Dusk Till Dawn, a little, just a little bit, just a sneeze, just like a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. But I could be totally wrong. But there was a little bit of like nod. I feel like there was a little bit of nods to From Dusk Till Dawn, mainly towards, like, the third act of the film. I I really wish we got more of what's her name? I really wish we got more of Mary's backstory, but I feel like we got to know her more enough. I There were some characters I really wish we got to know more of, but I think we got to know more enough of them. I think they're all really good in their own way. I really love, like, you know, the relationship between, Smoke and his wife. I can't remember her name. Like I said, I remember it, but I don't want to be disrespectful. Yeah, I want to be, respect her name, but I can't remember her name. But yeah, I really love, like, that relationship between Smoke and his wife, and I love, like, their love for each other, even though you know, they've been through a lot. I'm not gonna say much, but I just really love, some of the romance in this movie too. It is a little sexy, if that makes sense, which I don't mind. I don't mind, like, sexy type of movies, especially if they're not, weird, and if they're done right. And I think this movie did it pretty well. I don't mind a little or eroticism in my movies, if that makes sense, especially in my vampire movies. But yeah. Um but yeah. Um like I said, the only negatives I do have, like, negatives, they're not really negatives, they're more like, you know, they're just, nobody's perfect at the end of the day. The ending, and I wish there was more vampire lore. But that doesn't stop me from saying that this movie was absolutely amazing. Um I know there's a lot of I think it deserves a lot of praise. I usually do not. I usually don't care for movies that are very hyped up, because I find them to be a little underwhelming. Midsummer. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah. But this did not disappoint. This lives up to the hype. So yeah. Yeah. Um 2025 Sinners. Um 10 out of 10. I would recommend. It's on HBO Max. I don't know where else is on, but I'm pretty sure it's also on HBO Max, and I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon, I do believe. But yeah. Um but yeah, I'm sorry that this video was a little short. Um like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to, but it's there if you want to. Again, I'm sorry this video is so short. I will bring out longer videos in the future, but I'm still trying to figure out, my YouTube formula, y'all, and yeah. But yeah, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to, but it's there if you want to, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, ghouls.